Hello, welcome back again to the Dragon Within Saga reading, continuing Book 1, Convergence, out of Chapter 2. And we're picking up right after we just witnessed a horrible scene from the young boy in the orphanage. So we're going to continue right here. What a waste, he thought as he momentarily broke from his memory to fully contemplate the wastefulness of the owner. He took a potentially beautiful moment filled with every opportunity to extract a totality of fear, pain, and hopelessness from the two young boys and wasted it because he could not control the anger within. It would have been much more effective indeed if he had extracted his revenge on the two young boys, one of whom was himself, over a prolonged duration of time instead of resulting to the brutish and ultimately weak display of losing control, ending the potential gluttony of fear and pain in one abrupt stroke of animalistic brutality. This was the second horrific event that should have crippled the psyche of his young and fragile mind, yet it did not. Not even after he was forced to watch the effects of that terrible night unfold upon his friend for months and years to come. Death would have been kinder for both boys, but none came. Instead, his friend was fated to live out his days while in bed and unable to get up. Oh sure, his friend tried to sit up in bed, and on one occasion he tried to rise on his own, but both instances met with the same conclusion. The resulting lack of muscular control from the blow to his temple rendered his opposite side effectively useless, and he tumbled to the ground, thus ending their adventures. There would be no more fantastic, orphanage-consuming battles, no more grandiose struggles between good and evil, and most tragically, no more evolution from a troubled child to a thriving boy. But where his normal childhood activities ended, his life truly began. His life of ashes and soot was being built upon the all-consuming fires of hate, anger, blame, and loss. In this instance, much like its predecessor, the result produced from a simple and pure act of selfless kindness was nothing short of damning. How could acts of goodness pull forth such wanton wills for destruction? How could his life and very existence result in nothing but pain for those whose only attempt was to create something good for him? There are several moments in our lives when our working understanding of how the mechanics of existence function solidify their development. These moments work to limit our choices and actions to those fitting within the equation we have constructed. Any other actions or choices that do not fit within its range of possible inclusions we discard as unsolvable. This was one such moment for him. Constructed with the variables of pain, tears, and hopelessness, his equation was quickly progressing to the revelation of a single and terrible constant: worthlessness. For how could something worth anything result in the tragic conditions of his life and the lives of those around him? Unable to return a solution from his equation except that which included his worthlessness, he devolved into a state of complete isolation as a means to protect himself from the inevitable conclusion of pain resulting from any and every attachment. A slight smile appeared upon his lips as he affectionately remembered what he later understood to be the progression of his master's influence. Much later in life, and only after he had given himself over to the complete devotional dark worship, his master revealed to him that all of these things were orchestrated under the ever-present baton of his dark conductor. And that was the reason for his smile. Even while he was just a child, his importance to his master was such that his life, every aspect of it, was planned to raise him to his master's side. All the pain he had undergone as a child, which, when compared to the torture of his training directly under his liege, was wrought with flowers and sweets, had been for a reason. How masterfully had the first two of his prominent memories been implemented and prepared him for his third and final. For upon the third rested the completion of his isolation and resulting dependency upon his Lord for all things. As the dark link reached the culmination of power from his meditative and motionless dance through time, he faded once again into the recesses of his awful yet beautiful childhood. Well, we're going to stop right there on this one because I don't want to get halfway into the next scene and have to stop because it's a very powerful scene. Once again, thanks for joining me at the Dragon's Lair, my little studio here, in my little corner of Vendia, where I get to read from Convergence and the Dragon Within Saga. Again, available on Love and Light Productions. Check the comments below for the link. And thank you so much again. Love that you're tuning in. And don't forget, you got to subscribe and like to get more of the updates and uploads and poems and magic of Avendia. Thanks again, folks, for joining in, and Never forget, release your dragon within. Thank you.